Okay, I'm going to show you how to continue in the gingerbread project. We're going to make an assembly from this gable end house, and then we're going to, the gable end of the house, and we're going to use this gable end to build the rest of the components of our gingerbread house. So if you open up your gable end and then go to File and go Make Assembly from Part, it's now going to turn this into an assembly file. We're going to select our gable end, double click on that, and it's going to bring it in. Why didn't that start? There we go. Click OK, and we've got a gable end. Now, house has two gable ends, so there's a number of ways to do this. The simplest thing is to hold the control button down, click on your gable end, and drag it out. Now, our houses are going to be 3 3/4 inches long. So I'm going to create a mate that has a distance mate right here. Oops, better switch my units to inches first. Try that again. Take the mate off, switch to inches, and then go to mate. All right, I'm going to select distance mate, and I want this face to be 3 3/4 from that face. So I'm going to type in 3.75, and there we go. Now I want the bottoms to be even, so I'm going to select the bottom of this one and the bottom of this one and make them coincident. Hit OK. And now if we select two more edges, we'll be set. If I select, or two more planes, select this one and this one, hit OK. And now we've got our gable ends all lined up in place, ready to go. So I'm going to start with the roof panel first. And we're going to make a part from within the assembly, which is something you may not have done before. So I'm going to close out of Mates, and I'm going to go to Insert Component and say New Part. A new part will allow me to create a part right within this assembly. So I click New Part, and it's going to ask, it's asking for a sketch surface. I'm going to click right here on this plane, part of my gable end, and it's going to launch a sketch within this new part. And I'm going to go normal too. Take a look at that. Oops, I better bend that a little bit just so I can see what's going on. All right, now I need some of these features that are part of my gable end to be converted onto this new sketch. So I'm going to go to Convert Entities, and I'd like to pick this line and this line and this bottom line here. Notice which pieces I'm selecting. I'm going to select this guy, this guy, and this guy. And for now, I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to look normal to this again. All right, and it might be a little bit easier if I change my view to here. Nope, that's not helping. That's better. All right, so I want to stretch these lines out to here. And actually, I didn't need these. I could get rid of those. I can stretch these guys out to here. Stretch these guys out to here. Okay. Now, that would be the size of my roof if I didn't have any overhang. But a roof looks better if you've got a little bit of overhang, especially where this wall comes up here. We're going to need a little bit of overhang. So, as you might imagine, I'm going to use my offset command. I'm not going to select the chain option. I'm going to take that off, and I'm going to select this line, reverse the direction so that it goes out, and I want 1/4 inch overhang all the way around. So I'm going to make that 1/4 inch. I'm going to select this line and this line. And now I've got my roof extended out. Okay. Let's drag this line over to here. Whoops. We don't need this inside panel anymore, so I'm going to delete that. See if I can bring this line out. I can. Oop, I'm going to take that coincident off of there and then drag that out. All right, so you can see that my roof is starting to get a bit of an overhang. Now I'm going to need to make some notches in my roof for this part of the gable end so I can kind of puzzle piece this together. So I'm going to go to Convert Entities and let me do the face. Yeah. All right, so Convert Entities again. I'm going to select these other faces. Hit OK. And now I'm just going to exit the sketch, go to Features, Extruded Boss, select that sketch that we've been working on, and make it, close that out for a minute. I got to reset my units to inches. I don't know why my default's that. Now go to Extruded Boss, again select that sketch, and make it 3/16. All right, so I've got a roof, or half a roof anyway. I'm going to click in here and name this part roof. All right, I'm going to get out of the Edit Components command. It's going to bring me back to my assembly, and you're going to see that I now have a roof on there. Well, I'd love to have one on the other side, so I'm going to hold the Control button down, drag myself another roof, and I'm going to mate it up on this side of the house. Make sure it fits. All right, so we're going to go back to mates. I'd like this face. Whoops, clear those out. Try that again. All right, I'd like this face to mate with this face. Hit OK. Oops, got it backwards. So notice that it's inside the gable end. If I right click, view my mates, edit that mate, I think we can flip it. I think that puts it on the right side now. Drag it down. I'd like these two ends to be coincident. So I'm going to select this end and make it coincident with my other roof. Hit OK. And I think we have one more to do because it slides up and down right now. So we could make these two edges coincident. So under mate, I can select just the edge and just that edge and line those up. Now really they should be lined up with the notches, but that's going to do it for us. So we've got our house shaping up quite nicely. We're going to use that same procedure and create a wall. Now it looks like that wall is going to have a little bit of trouble. We might need to make our overhang a bit more, and we'll figure out how to make that wall in just a second. I think it might look a little nicer if that overhang was closer to a ½ inch on our house. I'm going to see if we can edit that part. So I'm going to go into our first roof here, go into this assembly, right click in here and edit that sketch. Oh, it's asking me to save my assembly first, so I'll just say house. Hit save. All right, and now I did ask to edit that sketch, and what would be nice is if this overhang was a little bit more. So I'm going to grab. Okay, so I've added a ½ inch dimension here. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Click the box first, then click here, change that to a ½ inch. We're getting a little bit more overhang. The real overhang that I want to change is this one here, and this one is going to probably be need to change to 1 inch. Let's see what that looks like. that might be, that's a little much. Maybe we'll change it to, what does 3/4 look like? Yeah, that should be enough. We'll change that to 3/4. So changing that roof, if I exit the sketch, what's nice is if I get out of this component, notice that it updated both of my roof panels. All right, so they're good to go. So now I just need to make my walls and I should be ready to roll. Now the walls here are going to have to be a little bit shorter in order to compensate. The laser cutter can't cut a bevel. So, and I want my roof to fit, so I'm going to make my walls come up just a little bit above these tabs. And I don't want to be looking at the roof right. Well, actually, I could. So we're going to go in and insert a new part, and in this case, we're going to select this surface to draw on. And notice that this part is activated a sketch. I'm going to look normal to that sketch. And like we did before, I want to convert some entities. So select this line here and this line. And then I'm going to select this bottom line here. And, oops. What happened? I wasn't on convert entities. There we are. Convert entities. This guy. This guy. I'd also like these blocks. And what else do I want? And then I want this bottom line of my roof, I think. No, I don't want that. Just going to have to eyeball that other line. So I'm going to hit OK. We need to trim out these, so I'm going to grab the trim command, get rid of that outer one for all of these. All right, I want to drag this line all the way across so I have a bottom. I'm going to drag this line down. Oops. Yeah, it's not allowing me to do that, so I'm going to try the extend command instead. Yeah, that's working. Do the same thing here. Extend, extend, extend. Got all that. Now, we need to draw a line that's going to represent the top of our wall, which is a little bit under this roof. So I'm going to look normal to my sketch for a moment. And I'm going to grab my line tool. I'm going to reference this somewhere in here. Click. Put a line over. Click. Grab my extend tool. Extend these out. All right. See how, is that tall enough? Looks pretty good. I can edit it after the fact. So I'm going to exit my sketch now, and I'm going to extrude that wall. So I'm going to go to Features, Extruded Boss, select my new part. Whoops, Sketch. I'm going to select the part that I want to extrude, which is everything but those notches. Oh, sorry, I should have set it to inches. We'll do that again. Extruded Boss, select the sketch that we want, select part of the profile and make it 3/16. All right. Now, I'm going to name this part just side, or we can, you know what, I might name it front because we're going to make a front and a back. So front It's going to be the front of my house. And then we can cut that, we can copy that, make another side, and put this guy over here. So, well, if you wanted this end to be the front, you'd have to relabel these parts, and I can show you how to do that. Either way, if you want the front to be on the gable end or if you want the front to be on the side. If this is the part that I want for the front, I'm going to open that part, and then do a file and do a save as, and call it the back. All right. Now if I close that out, in my assembly, actually change this to the back. So I'll put the front on this side. So this is the back. I'll go get out of exiting components, insert my component, go to browse. I don't have my front there. All right. Sorry. Skipped a step. Check out of here. Right. Open this up again. Do a save as. I'm going to save a copy and continue. And call this one the front. I think I could have selected that button last time. I made a mistake. All right. Go back to my assembly. Go to File. Oops. Go to Insert Components. Browse. And I have a front now, which is the same. It looks the same as my back. So you can imagine how to put that together. I don't want to make this video any longer. And then we'll talk about how to put windows in and make some DXF files.